Hey, first of all, I'd like to say sorry if you catch me chewing gum, you guys. I know some people have a problem with it if you chew gum and make videos at the same time, but you know what? I mean, I chew gum all day, every day, and if people I communicate with daily, friends of mine, whether, I'm at the gym or at their houses cutting their hair or at home and I'm chewing gum, that's how I communicate with them all day. They see me chewing it, so why can't I do it in front of you guys, right? So anyway, that thought just came to me, like, dude, should you spit your gum out before you start the video? I'm like, no, I just put it in. I went in the grocery store and I put some gum in my mouth because I just got done eating after my workout, so I'm not gonna spit it out. But I'm not gonna try to chew it on purpose. Like, Anyway, so that little thought came to mind, where if people have a problem with it, well, you know what? Then they would have a problem with you in real life talking to you because you chew gum all the time in real life too. There's a thing, you guys. I'm a hairstylist, and I never wanted to be the hairstylist that while I'm cutting somebody's hair, they're like, oh my God, this guy's breath stinks so bad. I don't want nobody thinking that of me. So I was always chewing gum, and keep my breath fresh while I'm cutting people's hair, or if I'm talking to them while I'm working out at the gym. Now, I'm not saying other people need to do it. I'm just saying I don't want people thinking that about me. Oh man, this guy's breath stinks. No, I don't want to be that. So I chew gum for me, for me to be comfortable around people. Anyhow, I want to share something with you in the book of Luke in the Bible, because it's really important to know about how Jesus did things. And let's see, Luke chapter 4. Let me see what verse I want to start with. Yeah, how about verse 33? There was a man who had the spirit of an unclean demon, the spirit of an unclean demon. Interesting. A man had the spirit of an unclean demon. Okay, so this man had a spirit of an unclean demon. You and I have a spirit of a holy God. This man had the spirit of an unclean demon. Now listen, this is before Jesus had died and was raised, because nobody could have his spirit in them. The only way to have the Spirit of God is to have it through Jesus Christ after he died and was raised, okay? So this man didn't have a chance of that. So how did people keep unclean spirits from getting in? Well, you needed protection from God back then. And so people, to get protected by God, they had to make sure they were being godly people and living by these godly rules and keeping them, and not trying to get away with stuff, and sneak around and not get caught, doing things, because God's almighty eyes were everywhere, because they were living under a very strong code, a covenant, which is a covenant is a contract. It's a marriage bond between you and God, and their contract said, let's say God's the husband and the people are the wife. Okay, so back then, a person as a wife has to perform all the duties of a wife, and there's a big list of rules that she has to do to make her husband happy. Otherwise, he will kick her out, right? So that's how the law is. And the law has certain things, like, it knows that this wife's not going to be perfect. The law, so there's, this thing where you make somebody, an animal, die in your place for you, which is really sad, because I'm not an animal killer. I have a heart for them, although I guess it's hypocrisy that I eat them in my diet. But I don't want to kill animals, and that would be terrible to have to bring an animal of my own and make it pay for all my failures to satisfy this God that's supposed to be my husband. So Jesus did so much for not only the people of Israel back then, but then he extended his hand as well to the entire world to share that no matter what kind of bondage you are under, no matter what kind of contracts you are under, no matter what kind of vows you committed yourself to someone or something else, that Jesus Christ today will set you free. He is more than capable. It's not difficult for him. Do you want it? Or do you want to try to take care of things on your own? Right? So, this guy, he's living a time where he can't have the Spirit of Jesus Christ living inside of him. So he has what? He had the spirit of an unclean demon. And he cried out with a loud voice, "Ha! What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? What have you to do with us?" See, Jesus has a Holy Spirit. What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God. Oh. So now they're like, if you come to destroy us, they know he can. That's why they're saying, have you come to destroy us? Have you come to destroy us? Because we know who you are. You're that Holy One of God. You're the Holy One of God, meaning he could destroy them. But Jesus rebuked him, saying, "Be silent and come out of him." Interesting how Jesus rebukes him, the man, the demon, or is it just that they are both one and the same, because that demonic spirit just filled that guy's house, his body, so much that it's like, we are one. But Jesus separates the spirit from the man because he says, "Be silent and come out of him." No, we. It's us. We're in on this together. Me and this man made covenant. The two have become one. So when I say us, I'm talking about him and I joined together. See, this is what this evil spirit that this man has. He's got an evil spirit of what? Of an unclean demon. Is there any other kinds of demons? They're of an unclean demon. It's like emphasis on what a demon is. It's very unclean. I mean, demons, are there clean demons? I don't think so. But this is stress that this thing is unclean, this demon, right? They're all unclean. So the demon's trying to get Jesus to recognize the oneness it has with the man. But Jesus rebukes him, saying, "Be silent and come out of him." So Jesus rebukes the spirit of this man and says, "Come out of him." And when the demon had thrown him down, not Jesus down, threw the man down. Don't think the demon threw Jesus down. When the demon threw him down, oh my goodness, demon got Jesus and threw him down. No, when the demon threw him down, the man in their midst, he came out of him, having done him no harm. Oh. So the man goes down to the ground. The demon doesn't do him harm when he comes out of him. He just came out. Boom, boom, done. Because Jesus told the thing, "Be silent and come out." Almost like today's words, shut up and get going. And the demon had no other choice. So he throws the man down in their midst, right there for all to see. And he came out of him, having done him no harm. And they were all amazed. These are the people that saw, that witnessed this. You know, they were all amazed and said to one another, "What is this word?" What is this word? Okay. Well, the word is Jesus. John says that the word was made flesh and the word was God. Oh, so who was this word? What is this word? It's God in the flesh. And then they say, for with authority and power. For with authority and power. Authority and power. Not only does Jesus have the right, but he's got the might. For with authority and power, he commands the unclean spirits and they come out. Yeah. Okay, that's really, that story, there's so much to it. There's so much to it. I wouldn't even be able to touch the tip of the iceberg on this one. But there's some things that I can share with you that I hopefully say right for the right time for you. Hopefully it comes to you at the right time. You know, and maybe there's a lot of you that aren't dealing with this in your life right now. You don't, maybe you're not, maybe you are, maybe you're not aware you are, who knows, but there are people that are suffering from something that was introduced to their life, maybe at a young age. I would say most likely at a young age, because, you know, that's where your foundation is from your youth, right? Not that you can't have a new foundation, because I've experienced that. But, you know, your youth is your foundation, your roots. And when you are young, you are very, very vulnerable and like a sponge. And unfortunately, young people are surrounded by not only their peers, but also there's people that are adults. And there's a lot of adults that have nothing but poison. Like that man who had an evil, unclean spirit of a demon. And he had no chance of having the Spirit of Christ living in him. So he needed the Christ who was outside of this man to come and cast that thing out of him, to set him free, because nothing was setting this man free. And maybe this man had become convinced of his oneness with this evil spirit, that is his true identity. So he was living in this identity, acting upon this identity, because let's face it, in your walk with Christ, you are one spirit with him, and that spirit is your identity. That spirit is the root of you now. That spirit is your new foundation, right? So there's nothing more powerful than spirit. You think that this man's flesh could overtake spirit? His spirit was evil. His spirit didn't love him. This spirit in this man is full of wickedness. It wants nothing righteous, pure, holy. It's not sorry for the things it does. It's not sorry for the things it says. It's not sorry for the way it thinks. Imagine a pure narcissistic spirit. There's nothing clean or pure about it. It doesn't care. It feeds on lusts. Lusts are not nothing pure. Lusts are when you go, that's not love. It can disguise itself as love. But man, you experience somebody's lust over you, how toxic it is. They just want to strip life from you. Predators do it to children all the time. Man. There's this show. It's not a show, it's a documentary. I hate to call it a show, but you know what I'm saying. A documentary I was watching, and this dude, you talk about something demonic attached to him. Doing what he did to innocent children. Why he did it, all that stuff, what his childhood was like, what led to it. Hey man, all I know is it's demonic, man. That it's demonic. And your flesh cannot fight off demonic. Your flesh cannot fight off the demonic. Gaining knowledge doesn't fight off the demonic. The only thing that fights off the demonic is Jesus. It's not about saying his name out loud, although it's worked for many. So think about how powerful that is. But it's calling upon him, his spirit, his authority, his power. And if you possess his power because you possess his spirit, and your spirit and his spirit are one, so there's no separation because he married you. And he won't divorce you. So you have his power to back you up in life. Now, if you're a wife, and I'm speaking to men too, the wife of Christ, okay? If you're a wife thinking your husband knows all your dirty little secrets, and although he hasn't technically divorced you, you feel like he's distant from you. You feel like he wants to separate himself from you. You feel like maybe he's kind of sticking around, but man, he's so sick of you. And he's done. He's done. You've blown it. He knows everything about you, and he's just like, yeah, you know what? You might have a little good, but you have so much bad, I can't even see the good anymore. See, there's a spirit outside of you that's wants to get in, but it knows it can't because you have Christ in you. And if you don't have Christ in you, then just say, Lord Jesus Christ, I really do want your spirit in me. I do. See, there is a knowledge that you can get that can lead you to Christ. So don't discount knowledge. But it's not even your knowledge of Christ, it's the Spirit of Christ that sets you free. And if he's not living inside of you, you know, receive him. You just got to believe it. Confess, I believe you are alive. Yeah, I know you died and you covered my sins, and And there's only one way to get truly forgiven. It's by you, you know. And sometimes your emotions have a hard time dealing with that, you know, understanding that you're fully forgiven. A lot of people's emotions still rule over them, and they'll even find Bible verses to convince them that, you know, they're not totally forgiven just yet. You know, there's something about them that it's really hard to fight, you know. It's really hard to accept that God's grace is much more powerful than anything that you think that can keep God's life from flowing into you freely. Believing it, that's all I gotta do? No, there's gotta be more. I'll prove there's more by finding the scriptures and interpreting them a certain way. Let me tell you, man, God's Spirit is the only thing that can set anybody free. That Spirit that Jesus Christ contained in him is the only thing that can set that man free. And Jesus kicked that demon out, that evil, unclean spirit out of that man, because all that thing wanted to do was bring him harm. And you know what? Those unclean spirits, they run around outside of people too, looking for a place that they can indwell, a place not filled with the Spirit of Christ, which is compared to waters in you. No, these spirits, they're looking for dry places. Houses, which are your bodies. Remember, if a house is haunted, it's not the house that's the problem. It's the spirit that's in the house. Right? You may call a house, that's an unclean house, it's haunted. Well, it's the demon inside the house that's unclean. Let's clean that house, so to speak, by getting that demon out, kicking it out. Get that evil spirit out of that house and get a clean one in that'll keep all evil out. And, you know, the same goes for your body, which is your house for your spirit. It's something that is that you are inside, living inside you as a spirit, joined to the Spirit of Christ, right? So we have minds that we are working on. Our minds are a little bit different, you know, because your mind was born in the world, and then you got the mind of Christ in you when you received Him, and now your old thinking is being dealt with, and we're trying to think new. But the thing is, it's hard to think new if you are trying to get yourself towards the mind of Christ. But once you realize that you do have the mind of Christ and He's not going nowhere, and you mean I can start thinking like Christ? Well, yes, you can. It's not religious. It's now you have the right because He gave you the rights. He gave you the authority to think like Him. All right? Forget about religious things. Forget about obeying rules and all. Just separate all that stuff. Take the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, set it aside, stand there at the tree of life, look over to that tree of knowledge of good and evil, and know that, man, every time I go there, dude, I get all confused. After I always visit that tree. Why do I keep on visiting that tree? Right? Because people are guiding you, and then that old you wants to go eat of that tree again, you know? You have this carnal, fleshly desires still, residual stuff in you that wants to go partake of that tree, and that tree just gets everybody all messed up. If you can just stay at the tree of life, right? Don't look to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Yeah, you partook of it. We all did. Everybody has. Right? So go to the tree of life. It's open for you. Gain life right now. That life is the Spirit of Christ. Invite Him in. Invite Him in. Jesus, I invite you in, right? And then that unclean demon spirit gets kicked out. Do you know what? And you as a believer, if these spirits are outside of your realm, they're trying to work their way in. They know they can't, but they're really trying to, and they're trying to get you convinced that you're one with them, right? They can't handle that they're not one with you. They want that. But they don't want unity with you. They just want you to believe that you're in union with them. Oh, I am an evil person because I have an evil spirit. Jesus, he must have left me. Man, they want you to forget who you are or never be convinced of who you are, who Christ is in you as your identity. He lives in you and is one with you. A Christian isn't a religion. It's supposed to be somebody who identifies themselves as one with Christ. And then when you start to realize who you are, and you realize that, you know what, when somebody's got demons and everybody else is just, shouting from, hours and hours over that person, I command you out, demon, I command you out, demon, I command you out, demon, and those demons aren't getting out. Unfortunately, there's some people that they might command it in the name, but they don't know truly who they are in Christ. They might still be trying to do religious performance to prove it. But when you can confidently, not by your works, but confidently because of his grace, knowing that you only received him because of his good grace, right? And that he never left you. Yeah, you've done a bunch of messed up stuff, but you know what? He's still there and you're still one spirit with him. I'm still one spirit with him? Yes. So it's that spirit that sets that other person free. It's that spirit that set you free. Right? You're just forgetting or not even understanding who you are because all these religious voices attacked you right away when you received Christ in you. They came at you right away and you were battling them. But maybe not properly because their voices got in your head. Now you're confused. But when you can confidently, like Jesus, what'd he say? That guy, that demonized guy, yelling and all that, and who, what are you going to do? You're going to destroy us right now. Jesus says, just quiet and get out. Right? Time to destroy them hasn't come. And he wasn't going to get into a doctrinal debate with these things, probably which they wanted. Let's start debating over what's the timing and stuff for us to be destroyed. They want to know, how much more time do we have? Give us, is it time now? Jesus said, I'm not going to give you that. You want to know that. See, a demon wants to know, is it time? Yeah, do I still have my time? Oh no. Is it time? Yeah, they're terrified because they know that they're going to end. So they still want time to do what they want to do. And Jesus didn't satisfy them and say, yeah, it's time. And he didn't say, no, it's not time. What he said is, be quiet, shut up and get out. Right? and then they just had to get out. And if we can confidently talk like that, because we know who we are, Jesus didn't question who he was, and he doesn't want you to question who you are. That's our battle. Our battle is not knowing our identity. That's the battle, you guys. That's the true battle. And when you know your identity, there's your foundation. And when you speak in that identity, man, it's the spirit that sets people free. Just wanted to share that with you. Something to think about anyway. All right, you guys, have a great day. I like talking with you, and I hope this has blessed somebody out there. And hope to see you all again real soon. See ya.